Hey y'all, it's your girl Stephanie. This is Wrestling Color Podcast right here on YouTube. Make sure you thumbs up this video. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. Make sure you thumbs up the video. Make sure you subscribe. Now, I have a goal of 300 by New Year. Although I've been doing this 2 years, I feel like I should be at 3,000, but it is what it is. It's a nice little small operation I got tucked in the annals of YouTube. But my goal is 300, and I'm pretty close to it. So tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend you hate to come on over here and join the party. So what we talking about? You see the picture. Yeah, I'm a little bit late. I don't think I'm late, but like everyone was just reeling at all the WWE cuts, and everyone was just reeling at all of the Ring of Honor news, and oh, John Moxley is in rehab, and it's just like, oh my God, it's a lot. But we're gonna talk about this latest round of cuts because I'm sure there's more cuts to be had with all of the information that's been coming out since the cuts have taken place. Okay, so let's get into it. Um, this past what November 4th, so it was last week, been 4 days ago. WWE had another release, and these releases were something else, especially considering we had just came back from the Crown Jewel, which I didn't watch, by the way. Um, I didn't watch it. I was going to, but then I just was like, fuck it, and I decided to watch The Harder They Fall, which I probably should have watched Crown Jewel instead. Anyway, that was a terrible movie, by the way. Um, this round of cuts were very interesting to say the least. Out of the cuts that weren't shocking to me was Grand Metalik and Lince Dorado, because both men asked for their releases prior to that during the summer. They were through with it. Jeet, Rama, Trey Baxter, Zaida, Ramia, Jesse Camilla. Those are NXT folks who weren't being really used. Katrina Cortez, she was in a match with B-Fab, and she was on 205 Live, and then B-Fab, who just signed a contract apparently with them, the WWE, got cut. And then we got Oni Lorcan, and it just was, and Harry Smith. It just seems shocking. But when we get to these other names and we look at where we have followed these people, it's just the usual, listen, Tony Khan has said he don't care. Is his name Tony Khan? No, it's not. Nick Khan. He said he don't care where they're at, what their booking is, what they got going on, where what he don't care. If he don't see them getting over or Vince McMahon is not happy, they will be cut. And he has been following through. Okay? Karrion Kross, let's talk about it real quick. Karrion Kross in Triple H's NXT had the smoke, had his wife, came out, beat ass, walked away. Fall and pray, tick tock, your time's up. Then we saw someone had filmed him in a dark match. The smoke was gone, his wife was gone, the TikTok was gone, everything was taken from this man. And we knew then it was downhill. Then they tried to show him up on Raw, and they put him in like the trash master, whatever that one, the executioner from the WWE video games, and it was a joke. No one cared. They made fun of his outfit, and then now here we are. He was going to be repackaged the third time. They decided, fuck it, waste of time. Nia Jax is very interesting because she's a part of the Samoan dynasty. Considered untouchable. Nia Jax has been known to be very rough in the ring. She's the one who I would say ushered in the man after she broke Becky Lynch's nose from being so rough. She was paired with Shayna Baszler for a majority of the summer. Then we had to suffer through Reginald and her having a storyline. She looked like she wasn't going nowhere. Word on the street is she didn't want to get vaccinated. But then she wrote that she was doing a mental health break, and I know, and she was having surgery because she got bad knees. But she said she was taking a mental health break, and she thought everyone at WWE was on board with her. Apparently, they weren't because they fired her. Word on the street is she's one of the people who wasn't vaccinated. Eva Marie. Eva Marie, first of all, if you go back to my page, my podcast, on 4 months ago, I talked about the deja vu and the full circle that she was having with Naomi, because they had her beating Naomi in matches on Raw. Yeah, yeah, I said that too. I know. And now she's gone. Honestly, a lot of people would say she had no business being there. Even Marie couldn't wrestle then. She couldn't wrestle now. If you watch the first 4 seasons of Total Divas, everyone was very disappointed and disgusted that she was even there. The whole evolution thing, all of that shit we had to endure, and her, I guess, introducing Doudrop and all that bullshit was ridiculous and terrible and a waste of everyone's time. She's gone. Mia Yim. Mia Yim hasn't been on TV since they put her in the match in that whole retribution bullshit. Mercedes Martinez got up out of there, but even she's going now. Over on, I think she's on Impact. Don't quote me, but she's on another promotion doing her thing. Um, Mia Yim was in NXT, never won the belt. Never won the belt. Karrion Kross won the belt. He won the NXT championship. Uh, Mia Yim never won the belt. Um, she had this gimmick that I didn't like. I'm a owner, and she doing all of this hand movements and Tim's in the ring and this thug. It wasn't her. It didn't fit. It never got over. When she went to Retribution, it didn't make sense. It never got over, and she was never be seen on TV again. And now she gone. Ember Moon. It's funny because if you go back to my content, I was just talking about Ember Moon and where she would fit. I have a couple of podcasts thrown in there trying to figure out what in the fuck Ember Moon is supposed to be. And Ember Moon didn't even know what she was supposed to be after she got beat on that last NXT show. No one. She was a phenom. Then she was the werewolf. Then she came out. She came out with Shotzi Blackheart. Then she went back to being a werewolf. None of that shit stuck. And she's a very good wrestler. Then she went and at one point was losing weight, and now she gone. I knew if you listen to my NXT 2.0, what does Vince's vision look like? That was a month ago. I knew there was no place for Ember Moon in NXT 2.0. I already knew that. I'm not really shocked by her being let go. They didn't know what to do with her on the main roster. Okay, she had a match against, I believe, Bayley. She had one point was getting bullied by Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville about some video games. They threw her video game down. She was like a fucking dork in the back. Like it was just ridiculous. They didn't know what to do with this woman, as good as she is. Then we go into Frankie Monet. Frankie Monet is John Morrison's wife. She was uh Talia Valkyrie over, I believe, in Impact. She came over, and I already knew looking at Frankie that she was not going to fit into NXT 2.0 and the where they're going with it. If you don't see where NXT 2.0 was going with it when it debuted a month ago with the whole new look, then I don't know what to tell you. Frankie Monet just had an issue with someone saying don't be hiring these old wrestlers, and she said I'm fucking 38. What the fuck are you talking about? WWE is going in another direction. And I knew from Frankie's body build, from the way she wrestles that she wasn't gonna fit. And sure enough, they got rid of her. B-Fab. B-Fab was first of all, Brianna Brandy never was on NXT TV until just recently. She was on the roster for a long fucking time, and I'm gonna be real honest right here. She got in that ring and wrestled. Oh my goodness, what is the girl from the Grand Phasma faction? That fucking match was terrible. The match, you could tell they needed more time in developmental, but Swerve Scott, Top Dollar, and that other guy, they got formed into something called Hit Row on NXT TV. It's cool. They were just on Friday with Sami Zayn, and when I tell you, Hit Row they literally look like just three wayward black dudes. B-Fab's presence was so obvious that they needed her to be in that group. I know Hit Row won't last. Then they put Swerve in a tag team with the one guy, and from what I hear, they're gonna push Top Dollar as the main guy. Mind you, Swerve is the American champion NXT. The biggest loss in all of this was Keith fucking Lee. Let me tell you something about Keith Lee. When NXT went on USA Live for 2 hours, uh, for not even that. That SmackDown when they invaded SmackDown before Survivor Series because most of the WWE stars got stuck in Saudi Arabia. Remember that? Keith Lee had a match with Roman Reigns. It was so fucking good. He spirit bombed Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns got up, pounded him, gave him his props. That whole NXT roster that was in the ring with Triple H, that was one of the best fucking Friday night SmackDowns that I'm telling you in years. That SmackDown was November 2019. That roster included Tommaso Ciampa. We got fucking Bianca Belair. At that time, the cruiserweight champion was Lio Rush. You had Pat McAfee going in on Adam Cole. You had over there fucking Rhea Ripley at the top at that moment. Okay? Matt Riddle was still on NXT at the time, fucking up Sami Zayn. Tommaso Ciampa had defeated The Miz. Um, Rhea Ripley and Tegan Knox had fought what you call it? Dana Brooke and Carmella. And that's where matter of fact, that's the one where Bianca Belair had fucked up Carmella and Dana Brooke in the back. And then Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville got beat up by Rhea Ripley and Tegan Knox. Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan had a fucking barn burner, and then they all stood in the ring and was like, "We NXT, what the fuck is going on?" Adam Cole was I believe, either NXT champion or NXT tag team champion. Okay, that was the roster on that fucking what you call it? That's the Keith Lee was in there getting pops. Then Keith Lee was on Survivor Series and he came out to a nice ovation and fucking Brock Lesnar lightweight put him over when he was like, "Oh shit, look at this big dude." And I guess he threw him out quick, but he made his mark. Then fucking AEW happened. They took NXT, put it on the USA Network. Keith Lee and Dominique Dijakovic literally was doing fucking Spanish flies and flipping all over the fucking ring. So that first episode of NXT could somehow beat would beat AEW that first night. I remember it because I was like, damn, they giving it all. Like this is a fucking like this is fucking a pay-per-view. Then in July 2020, he became a double champ when he won the championship and the North American Championship at the Great American Bash. The only person to do it. Bask in his glory, for he is limitless, right? We like it. He coming out. He got the nice little baritone voice. He cute, whatever, good looking. Vince McMahon ain't like that. Brought him up, put him in a singlet, took his music away. That was the beginning of the end. Everybody was like, "What the fuck is going on?" That's when I had did the podcast Limitless. They was fucking him up from Jump Street. Everybody was like, "Oh, it's his music." No, the music is very important. Excuse me, very important to the wrestler. And then fast forward, he got sick. Keith Lee got sick with COVID. He said he almost died. His heart got inflamed and swole, and all kinds of shit went on. And Mia Yim stuck beside him as she should. That's her fiance, right? And then he comes back, and they come up with this Bearcat bullshit, which I was like, what is that about? Y'all motherfuckers sat on Twitter going back and forth with me talking about, oh, it's a tribute to Bearcat Lee. No one in our generation would have come across fucking Bearcat Lee unless they had a beta tape and was watching that shit. They just did that because he's a big black dude and they remember a big black dude from the 70s that was doing the same thing. They wanted Keith Lee to be a fucking heel. So he was on there just running through people and stomping away. I said, I'm not booing Keith Lee for fucking what? And now here we are. Y'all done let Keith Lee go. And just to let you know, on Twitter, somebody was like, well, Keith Lee came up with that Bearcat Lee shit. And Keith Lee confirmed. He said, no, I didn't. That wasn't my idea. Keith Lee said it. Like I said 1 month ago under the video from Limitless to Eventual to Insidious. No, he did not want that fucking gimmick. He was happy with the gimmick that he worked on in NXT. We all were happy with the gimmick that he worked on in NXT. So these people are going now, and I'm sure there's going to be more to come. I can see, listen, Ember Moon could go ahead on back to reality wrestling. I would go back and work with Booker T. Nia Jax, I don't know, because she got bad knees, and she honestly needs more work to wrestle. Karrion Kross, he could go back to Impact. He could go to New Japan. Lince Dorado, Grand Metal Elite. Listen, they got all that. They luchadors. They gonna land on their feet regardless. B-Fab, she said she already got shit lined up, things to do, places to go, and people to see. Frankie Monet, she could. I mean, sky's the limit for her. She still got miles on her. She still got some life in her. She only 38. And just like everybody else, I'm sure they're gonna land somewhere and do what they love. Sometimes, even Marie, she's either gonna go back to being a fitness model with her strong ass right wing thought process, all that fucking orange bronzer and the big fucking fake titties. She's gonna go right back to what she was doing. And there's a group of people that love it. So that's what I think. I think it's terrible that WWE continues to waste people's fucking time in developmental. But from what I know now, that is going to be coming to an end. We from going forth, we will never have enough time to be invested in any of these wrestlers because they have changed all the practices when it comes to hiring and firing going forth after this last round. Some of these people been on the roster 4, 5, 6 years. Ember Moon went up to the main roster, came back down. Mia Yim went up to the main roster too fucking early, if you ask me. Nia Jax went up too early. Karrion Kross, too early. Honestly, Karrion Kross should have went to the main roster from Jump Street, as well as Frankie Monet. But that's not what these old white men want to see. They want wrestlers that they themselves would like to fuck, whether it's a man or a woman. I keep telling y'all, Vince McMahon likes to look at big, hot, sexy men and hot, young, sexy women. I'm literally. He stands in the ring talking about big meaty men slapping meat and how you're sexy. This is a grown man gets excited looking at other grown men get it in on the ring and then get turned on by tits, ass, and fucking oil in the ring. And I'm telling you right now, we're headed back that way. Y'all tell me what y'all think about these releases, and I'll just see you on the next one because ain't too much to like. Ain't no point in ranting and raving. They're gonna do it. I just hope all of them land on their feet. All right, y'all, deuces.